The second bird that Corona came to kill is the churches. I made several videos and I told people, go to my page on Facebook, Joseph Okechukwu, just go to my video library. You see videos. There's even one I made one time which my beloved brother Femi Kayode shared on his page, where I talked about Pope Francis and all those things, and New World Order, communism, and blah, 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 where I mentioned Adeboye as well. Go check that video. If you check that video, you will see where I said it. I told you people repeatedly, and several other videos I've made, I said very soon you will be having to conduct your churches from home. I said it over and over again. You will be doing church from home. Now, let us look at the ecumenical politics of Corona and see whether we can connect the dots. Huh? So I'll play you a video now. There's a guy, a pastor, I don't know him, I don't even know which country he's making the video from, but he just has announced that they've been told to shut down churches and not to congregate again.
In the view of this coronavirus crisis that we are in,
bezüglich auf die Coronavirus-Krise, in der wir uns befinden.
I believe, as many of you might have heard,
Ich glaube, viele von euch haben gehört,
that the government
dass die Regierung
have put a new measure in place
jetzt neue Ansätze gebracht hat,
to, fight the coronavirus.
dagegen dieses Virus anzukämpfen.
And that include
Und das beinhaltet,
that we are no more allowed to meet as a church
dass wir uns nicht mehr treffen dürfen als Gemeinde.
till at least 19th of April.
Bis später oder frühestens 19. April.
Every Sunday
Jeden Sonntag
at 9:30 a.m.
um 9:30
we will continue to have online church,
Uhr haben wir Online-Church.
and we ask you
Und wir bitten euch,
please to register on our website
geht bitte auf unsere Webseite, um euch anzumelden,
if you will participate
wenn ihr da dabei sein wollt,
in the online church.
in der Online-Church.
Online services. I told you this was going to happen. So now, not only from that country, everywhere in the world as we speak, religious places have been told, stop congregating. In fact, last Sunday in Nigeria, the law was already in effect. The announcement had already been made, and then Winners Chapel went and congregated, and everybody was slamming the bishop. And mark my words, I don't think he's ever going to do it again, because now it's a full-blown law. You cannot congregate. No more church again. No more mosque again. So if you are thinking, what do you think that is going to be aimed at? So what that is leading to is that now you're going to get used to churching in your home. You're going to get used to doing everything from home, and the normal church as you know it is gone. And God help us, within this period of Corona, only God knows how long it's going to last, they would have come up with certain laws that will probably outlaw or whittle down the powers of these congregational places, like these religious centers, like mosque or church or whatever. And in that law, you're going to see another law that promotes the gathering of religious worshippers under one roof, which is now going to happen in an ecumenical center. And so what that means is that all these religious gatherings are promoting hate, they promote division, and they don't allow peace to thrive. So what we're going to do is that we are now pursuing peace by all means. So we want all the unity of religions to come together, which Pope is now about to sign into effect. Are you seeing the flow of events? The Pope is about to have a re-education program on May 14th. And right before that, Corona shows up. And just after that whole May 14th, there's going to be a one-world religion signed into effect officially for the first time in history. And then you are seeing that churches and mosques are now told, don't worship, stop congregating. What do you think is happening? Have you noticed that African presidents all over the world, not just Africans, governments are building massive cathedrals. State governments in Nigeria are building ecumenical centers, cathedrals. Adeboye of Nigeria said he wants to build a big cathedral as big as Ibadan. It's like one of the largest places you can find in the whole Southwest. Big governments, I'm talking about presidents, are building cathedrals. They don't even know what they're building this for. You know what those cathedrals are going to be for? It's not only for you Christians. It's a place where all the whole people of the other religions will come under one roof to worship. In those cathedrals, you know what they are called in reality? They are called ecumenical centers. The Hindus, the Buddhists, the Muslims, everybody will come there to worship. And what that means is that the government will now be in control of worship centers. Government will now control the way you worship and where you worship. All these private churches, gone. This is a taste of faith. This is one of the birds that Corona was manufactured to shut down. So you see now, everybody's learning now to worship from home by force. When we told you this, you looked at you did all the logic in your head and you're like, this guy, conspiracy theorist, this can never happen. It's not possible. Did you ever think that you will come to a point in life when the whole world is shut down everywhere? No movement, nothing. And when we told you that the Antichrist is going to come after you and give you the microchip, which is 666, you said we were sick in our heads. Where are we today? No more church, no more mosque. By the time you wake up and realize what's happening, you are all worshiping in an ecumenical center. Everybody, you have to agree to it. And you must agree to the new doctrine, which of course is going to be the doctrine of the devils. Because when all the religions of the world come under one roof to worship, it's no longer the God of heaven they are worshiping anymore. They are worshiping the Antichrist. And you have to agree to it, or you go your way and worship elsewhere. And the time is going to come when they will even come after you. As a Christian, you can no longer worship openly anywhere. You have to go and hide to worship. That's to show you that the tribulation the Bible talked about, the tribulation of the church, has now begun gradually. We're just walking into it. Let's go to number 3. The third bird that this was made to kill. Donald Trump. I've talked about this in my previous video. Why is Trump a bird that they want to kill? I don't know how many of us have seen this documentary. It's called Cold Case Hammarskjöld. Hammarskjöld was, I think it was a Swedish man who was the UN Secretary General. His crime was that he came in as a Secretary General of the UN and said that there was need for the relationship between the Western colonial powers, the European colonial powers, and Africa to change. He wanted that to change. He said that they should stop breathing it down on Africa and allow Africans to at least blossom. They are stifling Africa. They should allow Africa to grow and become truly independent. And the colonial powers didn't like it, so they ordered for him to be murdered.
Did you know about Hammarskjöld?
No, I didn't know.
Dag Hammarskjöld became the UN Secretary General in 1953. At first, he was believed to be a boring Swedish technocrat, but in fact he was a flaming and strong-willed idealist.
It is very easy to bow to the wish of a big power. It is another matter to resist.
For Hammarskjöld, one of the most important tasks of the UN was to protect the African countries who had recently gained independence from the tactils of old colonial powers.
These new nations wish to build a life of progress in full independence. To look to the United Nations for moral, political and economic support.
This made him a lot of enemies amongst the old colonial powers. So, if there was a time where members of the UN were longing for the death of the Secretary General, it was during the reign of Dag Hammarskjöld.
He was going to change the way that Africa dealt with the rest of the world financially. And he was a threat.
The lights were switched off at the airport. And he just told me,
Did he tell you who gave him the order to bring down the plane?
No. He had the death card in his collar.
In the process of murdering this guy, what was their plan? Their plan was that we cannot have anybody at the top who has power that will stand in the way of us owning Africa. Donald Trump's crime is that he came to power divinely, like I've said to you every day. And Trump has shaken the foundations of colonial entanglement in Africa. For the first time since the colonial days, France has relinquished the right to control the currency of the French colonies in Africa. They have taken back their currencies now. They now have the right. They even openly apologized. Trump has given Africans the opportunity to now look for a way to redeem themselves from colonial powers. And he's doing it so silently. And they don't like that. Look at how he went and formed an alliance, global alliance against religious persecution. And religious persecution is one of the things that the colonials use to instill fear in the colonies that they have, so that they can continue to hold them down. That's why you have all these Fulani herdsmen and terrorism everywhere. And Trump is determined to destroy all of that. And they're like, this guy, how dare you? So they pull out all the media machinery and everything. They're now working together with communist China. And they say, we need to tame this guy. We need to show him who we are. And that's why they came after him. Corona is meant to deal with him. Check out the media. Look at all the people. When they started, New York is a liberal state, is a Democrat state. California is a Democrat state. See, every minute you go on CNN, you see the governor of New York. They say, oh, they were the first to shut down everywhere and say no movement. The next that followed was California, all of them Democrat states. The next one, Illinois, all of them Democrat states. To create impression that this situation is already gone out of control in America, so that Trump will continue to labor and suffer. They want to cage him, and as they cage him, they will now swoop in on Africa and begin to take over. China will now begin to distribute vaccines and begin to take over. Europeans will take over, whatever. So nobody will care again about the Christians who are being massacred in Africa anywhere. Nobody will care again about all the evils going on in Africa. They will now keep him busy with that. And under the pressure, the man has refused to crack. He still stands. Trump was the person who said, let us stop flights from Europe because they've got it. Democrats, CNN, they came after him. Oh, this man, this is unfair. These are our people. You can't be stopping flights. Come on, that's not going to be enough. That's not. Now they are blaming him for not doing enough. He says it's China virus. They come after him again. If a virus started in Wuhan, which is in China, what is it? They just don't want Donald Trump. They want him out of the way. So Trump is one of the birds they wanted to contain. They want to destroy him. They want to cage him so that he's not able to do anything. And then they can go in and take over everywhere. And like I told you in my previous video, what is going on right now is that the world is moving towards the Antichrist regime. And if Pope is going to sign what he wants to sign, they cannot sign it and still want a man who is against them to be in power. That's why I keep telling Christians, if you know how to pray, pray. If God gives us another chance, maybe of another 4 years of Trump's presidency, we will be the luckiest people in the world. And mark my words, after those 4 years, if you tell me the tribulation has begun or the rapture is going to take place, I will never doubt it. We are just around the corner right now. The fourth and final bird they want to kill with this corona stone. This is how I put it. Dependence on artificial intelligence. I explained this before. And so a friend of mine who works in the banks just called me and he said, they said that we should all go home now and begin to work from home. They are trying to shut down Nigeria. everywhere will be shut down. They say we should go and work from home. So they now have to re-educate all their men, all their people, workers, to start doing virtual communication with their customers. Phone call or virtual communication with customers. In other words, you are stuck back home in your house and you must follow. I told you about Netflix. I told you about all these online service providers. Netflix is overwhelmed right now. YouTube is overwhelmed now. They said they can't even keep up with the demands that they're getting now. People are stuck at home and now all they have is AI. You want to communicate with anybody, you go AI. You want to do anything, you go AI. And they gave you these things in a video. Google 2045, a new era dawns. Google it. 2045. I showed this video on my face. Anybody who had followed me long enough knows about this video. They gave a timeline for every single thing that is happening today. All of it in a timeline. And that's how it is unfolding. And the end game is that they want to completely eradicate humanity and bring the robotics to take over. This is what is going on in our world today. You have to be overly dependent on AI. Everything you do AI, you're going to be talking to your computer. You will talk to devices in your home. Everything is coming to play right now. When this thing is over, if we come out of it, nothing will ever be the same again. Mark my words. You are going to be so used to this lifestyle. And this is where we have found ourselves today. Corona. So now, they are planning to shut down Africa. I want to give you another dimension. Please pay attention very closely. The United States of America has a stimulus plan. It runs into trillions. Nigeria owes money. They run into trillions. They don't have money to do anything. Even though we're supposed to have all the money, but all our monies go to Europe, the colonial masters, the UK. We don't have anything. People are poor. And they are telling you that you need to shut down. I saw a video by El-Rufai, Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State. And people were hailing the video that he's taking quick action. They have to shut everywhere down. No movement, no train movement, no this, no that. A nation where more than half of the population live on less than $1 a day. And that less than $1 a day, they have to go out every day to go and fend for it. And what you are going to see when you shut down the nation, I know how many people I have sent money to be able to stock up. I can't do for everybody. I know how many people I've given just little tokens. Imagine the number of people who are going to be out of food, who will not be able to buy anything to eat. Are you telling me that if this thing lasts another week and the people are not able to fend for themselves or get any food to eat, that they're going to stay quietly and be looking at you? The people know what they are doing. They are slowly walking us into a mega crisis that will erupt everywhere. And watch, when that happens, they're going to deploy the army on the streets. And many people are going to go to jail. And then the Illuminati will introduce so many draconian laws. Crisis is what they always look out for. They are going to get the military to even bring about mandatory vaccination. Remember, in Denmark, they have already passed a bill into law enforcing, authorizing the police and the military or whatever, the security agencies, to compel people to take the vaccines in Denmark. That thing they are doing in Denmark is what they are going to tell African countries to copy. Because in Africa, you know, they don't have laws, especially in Nigeria. Nobody cares about the citizens. They can do anything. So they, before you know what is going on, they are going to release the military on the streets of Lagos and Abuja and all the states and begin to tell them, you must come and have vaccine. If you don't have this vaccine, you're going to be in trouble. And this is how they are going to infect our people. You're shutting down the nation where people don't have anything to live on. Is this not a mass suicide they have walked us into? I remember when President Jonathan fought Ebola. You know, when Corona came, World Health Organization claimed that Corona does not have any person-to-person transfer mechanism, that is not able to transfer from one person to another. That's what China said earlier. That's what made everybody relax. And so, including America. And the World Health Organization echoed the same thing, supported what China said. All of a sudden, the same World Health Organization changed around and said that, oh, this thing actually can transfer from one person to person, after the thing had now gotten to America. And then I'm asking myself, how? Why? The same thing happened when President Jonathan was dealing with Ebola in Nigeria. I happen to be one of the people who suggested that we needed to use nano-silver, which Dr. Rima was providing. And apparently Dr. Rima had already reached out to President Jonathan at that time. There was no shutdown of any kind. There was just efficiency. And while they were planning to bring the wicked virus to us, I think the 2 Yoruba people had already come from the United States of America and introduced the nano-silver. And the Minister for Health quickly announced that we have found an alternative cure. On August the 14th, the next day, August 15, World Health Organization went to chastise the Nigerian government. The caption of what they published on Time magazine was, "Fake cures and Ebola drug sensationalism needs to stop." WHO says. They said it was unnecessary sensationalism, that we need to stop that. But guess what? That was what we eventually used to conquer Ebola. Why did WHO not allow us? Why were they angry that we found an alternative cure? Isn't that what they are doing to Donald Trump right now? He's talking about an alternative cure, chloroquine mixed with whatever else. Now they are fighting him. And I'm telling you, my people, if you know what is good for you, listen to Trump, follow alternative cure. The same alternative cure is what saved us. We didn't have to do the other things again. And before you know it, people from CDC in America were sent to Nigeria. They had to go and learn, how did Nigeria conquer Ebola? Alternative cure. And with all the other organic things that we were eating, bitter cola and all kinds of stuff, just boost your immune system. Boost it. Look for alternatives. Once they are proven, use them. I can only do so much. My job is to just tell you the truth at all times. When I tell you the truth, what you do with the truth is now up to you. Coronavirus has a huge globalist politics behind it. I've told you that before. It is viruses, 99.9% are manufactured in the laboratory. The Bible says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. They take advantage of our ignorance in Africa to destroy us. You should always know that you are a target of the globalist mass depopulation program. They want to depopulate and they want Africa to be this whole corona thing. Forget what you see going on. Yes, they want to depopulate the whole world, but Africa is I was laughing when they said, the thing is not killing Africans because of their gene. Africans were just laughing. No, you don't need to catch corona for them to bring virus and finish you in Africa. No! The Africans have strong gene and we were boasting that we have strong gene. It's not touching us. Watch now, you are actually the target of this rubbish. Guard yourselves. Pray. Eat well. Drink water. Exercise. Boost your immune system. And hold on to the knowledge you have gotten today. For me, by the special grace of God, no human being shall come near me with a vaccine. So I'm just following my mentor, Donald Trump. I see where he's going, I follow there. If he goes there, I follow there. Now they are ordering the chloroquine and it's curing people. He has killed somebody. Why shouldn't we go with it? Why shouldn't the African president order that? Why are they allowing Jack Ma to send things to them? They can't afford to buy it themselves? Why is Jack Ma from China sending them things? Yes, it's good to be, but I don't trust these people. Why is Jack Ma sending test kits to Africa? The same test kits that will now tell you that you have it and then they will bring the vaccine. You've known the truth. Run with it. Whatever you do with it, like I said, is up to you. I've done my best, and I'll keep doing my best as God gives me the grace. God bless you.